And joining me here in Washington is Ruwan Al-Rejoleh. She is the CEO and founder of Tawassul.com, a geopolitics consultancy firm. Based on what Sarba said, what do you think the government in Tehran will do?
Well, I think that I agree with Sarbas in Iran that these, protests are continuity to what started in November. However, I think that there is a big difference within the episode of downing the Ukrainian plane. I think that it shows the deep division among the Iranian branches of leadership, namely three. You have the reformists in the presence of Rouhani and Zarif, the diplomatic, and then you have the intelligence, which is the tila'at, as they say in Farsi, and then the third one, which is the IRGC, the one that is the one that is part of it, killed Qasem Soleimani. So I think it shows that there is a way of how to handle and how to take care of those episodes. So now this division between those the extremists, or like let's say the hardliners and the reformists is deepening, and how handling it. Yes, he said that President Rouhani is outside of so far from the scene, but I think now there are a lot of talks and back channeling to answer or to put plans to how to engage with the multiple invitations that President Trump sent to Iran in terms of coming back to negotiations.
And speaking of Donald Trump, the U.S. president, they're tweeting, I want to put up on the screen, tweeting in Farsi, rather unprecedented move, saying, the translation of this: to the brave and suffering Iranian people, I've stood with you since the beginning of my presidency. My government will continue to stand with you. We're following your protests closely. Your courage is inspiring. Speaking directly to them in Farsi, a lot of likes there for the U.S. president. How do you think that's played out and the logic behind doing that?
Yes, I think since the beginning, President Trump has been trying to draw a line between talking to the hardliners and the Wilayat al-Faqih government in Iran, and then talking to the people of Iran. In every occasion, we see President Trump addressing the leadership and the IRGC leader in a very hard way, but at the same time talking to Iranian people and trying to present the opportunities of peace and prosperity. And we heard that in the last presentation that he went on to talk about the killing of Qasem Soleimani. And I think this is part of a larger strategy, which is inviting Iran again to the table to discuss the whole JCPOA, or the Iranian nuclear weapon. I don't think that the current administration is really interested in regime change or toppling the current hierarchy, but it's more of creating a space for for the current let's say the behavior of Iran among its neighbors, and not.
And the U.S. wants Iran out of those places. Ironically, Iran wants the U.S. out of those places. So who will win that tug of war?
Well, this is interesting. It depends on how is the presentation in every places, right? Like Iran is suffering from those sanctions and suffering from economic challenges, and yet when they got the money from former administration, they went on funding militias across the region instead of investing in the country, investing in programs, economic programs to lift the challenges and this kind of hardship. If you want to compare United States to Iran, I think it's a bit scary, and it's a bit unfair to do that, because the presence of United States is for stability, it's for the prosperity of the nation, while in Iran so far we just see some kind of a state within a state. And if we look at if we look at the country right now and the protests, they are protesting the increase in oil prices, the hardship. So I think Iran should really focus on its internal matters.
All right, Ruwan Al-Rejoleh, thank you so much for joining us.